Come with me as I conquer an insurmountable task. Welcome to episode 2 of Crinkle Knits. Today I am taking on my yarn stash in a battle of endurance as I get everything out and prepare to catalog my stash into Ravelry. Today I'm just going to be taking everything out and doing kind of an inventory and then taking photographs. I'll be taking photos for the colors and the label information. This way, in the next video, I can show you how to input all of that into Ravelry so that you can then find projects based on what currently exists in your stash. As you can see, I tend to right now keep everything in Ziplocs and organized in totes by weight of yarn. So what you see right now with those 3 totes is worsted, DK Sport, and fingering weight. But there's some in-betweens right now, and I don't keep my acrylic in those bins. These bins right now are pretty much wool, alpaca, and silk blends, and then the acrylic goes in a different spot, and I'm kind of just getting a little overwhelmed with this system right now. So I'm going through and inventorying everything, and then I'm going to put it away in a little bit neater of a fashion. So right there, you just saw me stick my little ball band back into the ball. When I wind something up on the Swift and the ball winder, I tuck the label into the center so that I can find the center pull of the ball easily, but also so that I don't lose that ball band. Um, there's no way that a ball band that came on a hank of yarn is going to fit onto a wound ball. I also mark all of the Ziplocs with the weight and then sometimes with the grams, like you see in this one. So they're worsted weight that I'm working on right now. And then as I use them, I typically mark on the Ziplocs how much is left in there. And then here you'll see 2 measurements. That's because I've used this ball for 2 different things. So when I get done with a project, I weigh it again, and then I mark that measurement on the bag before I put it away. I hope you love cats, because they're going to be featured in every video. They absolutely love to be involved in everything that I'm doing, and luckily they don't try and steal things from me while I'm working with them too often, but a stray strand here or there will capture their attention. So here I'm trying to capture all of the ball band information that I can, and then for things like this where I have multiple skeins of the same thing, I'm taking a photo of all the skeins together so that I know how many I have just by looking at the picture. I'm going to attach these photos to the Ravelry stash page so that I can physically see the color and manually input all of the band information if Ravelry doesn't already pull it up. Because when you put stuff into Ravelry and you type in like the brand and the weight of the yarn and whatnot, usually it pops up with the information anyway. So this is really just to double check myself and for some of the more random skeins. This is a cotton that I got from Joann's clothing that I actually really enjoy. I have a hard time working with cotton because it's so rough on my hands. And really, it's not even that it's like rough texturally on my hands, it's just rough in the sense of I'm a tight knitter, and so fabrics like this Rios that have a little bit more give to them because they're an animal fiber are a little easier for me to work with than something that's a little more rigid like a plant fiber. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do for this listing, but I just thought that all of my little scraps from my tapestry knitting just look so cute together, so I took a picture of them anyway. Don't be alarmed by the piles occurring on the floor and me dropping things. This is going to get out of hand, and then it's going to get back under control, and that's kind of the whole goal. I love this yarn, it's so soft. This is the La Jolla from Ba Yarns. I've got several skeins of it here in really beautiful colors. It's the most popular yarn that we carry at my local shop, but there are other shops around that carry, or focus on, I should say, other things. But the Ba yarns are really popular at the shop that I go to. This color I love. And this is actually, you can see there the S for sport weight. This is actually listed as a fingering weight yarn. These are my in charge of scraps. This is actually listed as a fingering weight yarn, but I find that it leans more towards sport because I can match it up perfectly with the Malabrigo Arroyo, for example, which is what I did in the stranded garden gate cowl. So I'm putting all of the same color back away, even though it wasn't together to start with. Ew, look at this. Gross. Um that's one problem that I have against balls like this is that I don't like the way that they're wound because they come apart so easily in a way that just grosses me out. Also, reading the ball bands on these is a pain in the butt. Who decided this? Oh, look, more cotton. This was actually something that I got from a swap. So I brought some yarn to a shop that was doing a swap night. And then basically, you put the yarn that you were interested in swapping on the table, and then you could take whatever you wanted from the table. So I got some of this cotton yarn because this is one of the ones that is on the recommended list for the Knitted Knockers, which is a breast cancer awareness prosthetic that you can knit or crochet. Can you crochet them? I should look into that. I think it's knitted. Here's me showing you the ball bands as I tuck them in. This is Vera from Barocco. This is just a small ball. It's something that I got from the spring tasting, so it's not a full skein. Roll it back up. Roll it back up, tuck it back in. You gotta keep that stuff together, otherwise I will get so lost, because I am not. There's so many yarns in the world. This is Emma's DK. I lost the ball band for this one, so I've written on the bag what it is. But if I don't remember to do that and it's a yarn that I got years ago, that's going to become a problem when I want to use it. So that's why we're taking this on now before my stash gets any bigger. So this one I forgot to tuck the band into as I was winding it. So what I did is I just ran the end through the band when I finished it up to keep it that way. Zip in the bag. I live in a place where there is a decent amount of humidity, but ooh, sparkly. Look at this one. It's got like copper sparkles in it. It's really not showing up well on camera, but it's so pretty. I keep stuff in Ziploc bags. Some people are worried about accidentally trapping in moisture when you do that. And for a long term storage situation, I could see that being a problem. But right now, my stash is a manageable size where I feel like my yarn doesn't stay in the bag for too long that I would really be worried about accidentally trapping moisture in with it. And also, I run the AC in my house pretty often, so the air in my house is pretty dry, even though it's very humid outside right now. Okay, we are past the halfway mark. I'm so excited. This is a special hand-dyed yarn by a local indie dyer to me. They are Supernova Dye Works. Let's see if I can open this ball band to show you. It's UV reactive. How cool is that? Okay, so this one is their fingering base. I was laughing because the name is gross, lol. But yeah, Supernova Dye Works. They are local to me in Michigan. I actually picked up this skein during the Yarn Quest from Henny's Yarn Shop. I picked up several skeins during Yarn Quest. I was being good though. I kept it tame. Here's F for fingering. Look at me, I'm so good at things sometimes. All in all, this process of photographing everything took me about 45 minutes. Luckily for you, I sped that up because, oh my god, would that be a boring video? Oh my god, look at that squish. Oh, I love taking pictures by this window specifically because the sun is not on this side of the house right now. So I get the natural light without having too much like glare from the sun. But the problem with that too though is that as you can kind of tell from this video, my camera will turn the light on and off. This skein is actually dyed by my boss, Becca. Hi, Becca. Love you. She goes by Squirrel Girl Yarns, and she pretty much just puts her yarns in the shop as far as my knowledge at Threadbender. She's a great boss. I love her, and I'm having a really good time working at Threadbender. Honestly, I could not ask for more fun. I'm learning so many new things every day, and I get to touch all the new yarns when they come in, which is horrible for my impulse control, but brings me so much joy. I have a lot of super silky. Can you tell? I love super silky. Some of these have their bands and some of them don't. If you've ever had an Emma's super silky mini, you know that the little bands are tiny and they don't actually have the gauge information on them. They just have the fiber content on them. But luckily, this is a yarn that I know that Ravelry has in the catalog, and so it'll be able to pull up all of the relevant information for me. So hopefully I won't have to actually input too much here other than assigning it the appropriate colors, which really that's the reason with the Emma Super Silky that I'm taking a picture of the ball band next to the color right now, is so that I can pull up the appropriate color name for the ones that I do know. Sometimes I keep multiple skeins of yarn in the same big Ziploc like this, but then like individually Ziplocked inside of that. And the reason I do this is because I individually Ziploc each skein when I wind them. But then if I'm doing a project, I'll put all of those little Ziplocs into a big one. That way I know what went together and it helps me reference when I'm typing up patterns. If I can see in the bag how the colors look together and then compare that to my notes. These little baby minis that I'm doing right now are Woolstock by Blue Sky Fibers. This is from one of their, like, oh gosh, I forget what it's called. I think it's a sampler. It's one of the, like, Christmas themed mini packs where you get a whole bunch of the minis all together. I really love the wool stock, and when I have leftovers of it, I brush it out actually for my needle felting because the wool stock does felt really well. I'm getting tired. Is anyone else getting tired? Well, we're almost there, so hang on. You've got 2 more minutes. You can totally do it. I had 20, but you're doing fine. Don't look at how ugly this ball is, okay? It got a little crazy when I was winding it, and we're not going to talk about it. So just appreciate an interesting shape, and we'll move on. We are finally on to some of the last scragglers here. Some odds and ends. These are my leftovers from doing the Taking Sides bandana. This one is actually a skein that I'm starting a shawl with. So I decided that I should inventory it before I start that shawl because it's going to be a one skein project and I really want to keep all of the information down for it before I finish that project and don't have it in the ball to have a photo of. So I'm glad that I remembered to take a photo of it here before using it up because it's a special skein that I got in Kalamazoo, Michigan that was locally dyed and it has stencil in it, so it's sparkly. Right here, you can tell I'm kind of getting tired of this process. This is a lot to take on. Smushing all the ball bands so that I don't get a glare on one of them, but this is more acrylic that I got at Joann's for doing some of my little practice tapestries with when I'm testing out a new motif. And so, since the ball band information is the same on all of these except for the color and lot number, I'm just taking pictures of them together instead of individually so that I can see what colors I have next to each other. And then I'll just probably do one listing for those. I probably won't do individual listings. I love this color. Can you tell I love neon green? Slime. Gross. I'm thinking about maybe trying out a baby blanket. We'll see. I don't know if I have the patience. I just finished my first garment, and that was hard. I was anxious the whole time about, oh my god, am I done yet? But then it turned out perfect. And so I am thinking about doing another one. R.I.P. Joanne's. I miss you. Oh my god, we did it. You made it to the end. Full circle. Thank you.